If you've been following along, you know the last year's been a pretty intense emotional roller coaster for this car. I'm ready for some simple, instant gratification, something to lighten the mood of all the engine carnage and chaos that has been going on lately.
This car was originally equipped with single-round headlights and a flat hood from the factory, which is great. Without a doubt, this is the iconic 240 look.
However, for years, I've longed for something more special, something that was never available here in the US. After years of searching, I was able to find a set of lights and matching bezels, and today, we're going to put them on this car.
If you're just joining us, this is my 1980 Volvo 242 project car. It has a T5 engine swap, max ECU, worked over suspension and brakes, and far too many other things to mention quickly for this recap. After rebuilding the engine, rewiring for max ECU, getting it running, blowing it up, and getting it running again, I'm on the verge of getting this car back on the road. I need a win to provide some motivation, which is where the headlights come in. Volvo offered quite a few different headlights on the 240 throughout its many years of production, and there are some pretty cool options available.
Everyone has their preference, but to me, only one stands out as the ideal that maintains that iconic essence of the 240 while taking the styling and exclusivity up a notch.
And here they are. 8-inch single rounds. Honestly, I didn't think I would ever get my hands on these. I don't know exactly what years and countries received these lights versus the smaller 7-inch round that is much more common, but what I do know is that you couldn't get them in the US. I know I've seen them in some European markets, but it seems that a mix of the larger and smaller lights were used. It's cool enough to have a car with the standard 7-inch lights, but the 8-inch variant, that's just next level.
So I just noticed that one of these little retaining clips here is broken on this side. So I'm going to pull the lights off of the car that are on there now and see if I can grab one of these clips.
I had already converted this car from the US DOT spec sealed beams, which are garbage, to the European E-code lights with H4 bulbs that allow for much more light output. I actually might see how much of this is the same as the new one. Well, I can see same thing here. Got a broken clip. 240s with this style of headlight bezel and grille also use these spacers behind the brackets. Otherwise the headlights will be set in too far. So if you don't have these and you have a grille that looks like this with kind of the rounded bezels, then you need to get them or make them. These wouldn't be too hard to 3D print actually. Obviously, the design of these is very similar to what I already have, so let's compare. This is our 7-inch over here that was on the car I just took off, and here is the new light that's going to be going on, which is the 8-inch round that is much less common, never came to the US, and is a lot harder to find. The 7-inch is quite common. It's pretty easy to find replacements for these. These H4s are much better than the sealed beams that came in the car, a lot better light output options because you can choose different bulbs, and I have pretty bright bulbs in here and upgraded wiring to be able to handle that. As far as the general design, you can see the design here is really identical. So both have a glass lens. The fluting looks the same on them. There's a slight difference here with kind of a radius in this fluting pattern, whereas over here it's a little smaller and it's square. I don't know if there's going to be a difference in light output between these two. I'm not expecting there to be a noticeable difference there. To me, the whole reason that I'm doing this is because I like the way these look, and I've never seen them on a car in the US, especially the original ones. So I'm pretty excited about these. While cleaning, I noticed some dust and debris inside the lights, so I'm going to blow that out with the air compressor before moving on. As mentioned, the H4 bulbs are a direct swap between the old and new lights, so I'll drop those in now to prevent more debris from getting in. Given the rarity, I'm a little paranoid about damaging these lenses. I'm going to take an extra step to protect them. I ordered a pair of Lamin-X film covers to put on. I selected films that are slightly larger than these lights, knowing that I'll need to trim them to fit perfectly. In the video I watched, LaminX recommended installing these dry while working on a similar lens design. Because of the convex shape of the glass, you start from the center and slowly make your way outward, pressing slowly around in a circle to evenly distribute the excess material and prevent any wrinkles or air pockets. If a problem occurs, you simply lift that area back up and try again. However, this is quite easy. Once it's applied evenly without wrinkles, you trim the excess right at the edge of the top, flat part of the lens. According to LaminX, if you try wrapping it over that edge, that may peel off over time. All right, I've got the first LaminX film on there. So this is looking pretty good now. I'm pretty happy with how that laid down. Now I just really want to see it on the car, so I'm going to go ahead and bolt this up, and we can see a direct comparison of how this new light looks compared to the old ones. Kind of looks like the car has a black eye right now. You can see on this side, that light takes up pretty much all of the space up to the top of that bezel. If we look on this side, there's a lot more bezel around it. Next, I'll repeat all of that for the passenger side light before we attempt a little magic with the bezels. It's a subtle difference if you don't spend all day looking at 240s, but the larger size fills out the front of the car better. It's the same idea as why we're more drawn toward creatures with larger eyes like Puss in Boots or babies. It's something about our genetic coding. Bigger eyes equals cuter. Anyway, let's get these ready. The grille and bezels go on next, but these need to be freshened up first. So I just finished cleaning up these bezels. Despite these being clean, the surface is really dirty and uneven in color. So they're quite faded. So I've decided I'm gonna take one extra step before these go back in the car. A few months ago, I tried out a product from Eastwood called Plastic Resurfacer. Basically, it's intended to bring plastics like this back to life. It's a dye that soaks in. We got this clean, I've got some tape. I'll go ahead and mask it off, and then we'll take our Eastwood Plastic Resurfacer and give this 2 to 4 light coats. They're in pretty good condition, but they're still 45 years old. Some refreshing is in order to make them look their best.
This is kind of weird to mask because this tape is too wide. So I'm having to attach each side and then give it this little arch in the middle. It's like the spines on the back of a dinosaur or something. Probably actually won't be terrible if I accidentally get a little bit on this chrome plastic, which is rather lessen cleanup. Masking has to be one of the worst tasks to do. Right up there with sanding. But not quite as bad as working under the dash and destroying your fingers.
Especially on cars with neutral paint colors, like this silver, having a deep black finish on trim makes such a difference to the overall appearance of the car. I've been in the habit of using trim shine on all of the black trim. That works great, but as soon as you wash the car, it's gone and you have to do it all over again. I'm hoping that this will be a more permanent solution. I used this last year to refinish some parts on the E30 I just sold, and they turned out great, so I'm confident it'll work here. 10 minutes later, I peeled the masking tape off. This dries pretty quickly, and I needed the dopamine hit. After that, I let it cure overnight. I gave these a chance to dry overnight, so they're fully cured, and now we can see what they actually look like. And honestly, the finish on these is about as good as I could possibly expect. They don't look exactly brand new. You can see some of the imperfections in them, but the color and the finish is perfect. These look like, instead of being off of a car that has been sitting outside, that's seen sun and UV damage over the course of 45 or whatever years, they look like they came off of a car that's been sitting in a museum. It looks just like original plastic. There's not any kind of weird or out of place gloss to it or anything like that. It really just looks like restored plastic. So really this stuff did exactly what it said it was going to, being a plastic resurfacer. But either way, it's time to put these back on the car. Let's go ahead and do it. That looks fantastic. The only issue is, though, I can see that the grille is sitting probably 5 millimeters lower than these bezels on both sides. So I need to find some way of getting this to sit up. It is the grille that's in the wrong spot. I want to find a more permanent fix for this, but for now, I'm just going to use these rubber washers that are about 5 millimeters thick and see if I can put those around each one of the posts. There's 3 posts along here. If I can do that, that'll get it to sit up about the right amount. So that may work for now. And then someday, maybe I can figure out a better solution. Let me know in the comments if you have a better idea. Or if you know why this is sitting in the wrong place to begin with, if there's something else that might be wrong that I'm missing, let me know. Oh yeah, I can see the problem. Despite that I paid a lot of money for this grill, someone cut this so that the grill would sit down farther. So that's the issue. All right, you can see my temporary fix here. I've put this rubber washer on here. I have one on each of these posts, so hopefully that does it. Let's see. All right. That looks like that pretty much got us there. So that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna call that done and we can wrap this up. You can see really the difference that this made when we compare the old ones that I haven't refinished compared to these new ones that I've used this plastic refinisher on, and it's amazing. For how little work this was, it's really incredible.
It is so satisfying to finally see these on the car. I absolutely love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. What's your favorite 240 front end or headlight? This is just the motivation I was needing to get that interior put back together and figure out tuning on Max ECU. So I've got some work to do. Thanks for watching.